Cardi B has finally chosen to address the situation after Kenneth Perry, Nicki Minaj's husband, allegedly made threats against Offset, according to various informants. An incident involving Offset and Kenneth transpired at the VMAs, and footage has come to light that depicts Kenneth and his associates apparently attempting to ambush Offset near his hotel.
We outside! Big zoo outside! Big Queens, right?
Nonetheless, it seems that Offset remained unfazed, as evidenced by a video he uploaded where he's seen boarding a private jet, seemingly amused by Kenneth's actions.
Bro. We up in our jets. Y'all got there.
Contrarily, Cardi found nothing laughable about the situation, particularly given that Kenneth was threatening the father of her children, and supporters are now suggesting that Cardi ought to take legal action, given Kenneth's well-known past. Simultaneously, people are also calling out Nicki for tying the knot with a registered offender who continues to bring her public shame. So what is Cardi's stance on Kenneth's threats towards Offset? Is she seriously considering legal recourse? Let's get into this.
We don't have to prove everything, but it's like, if we don't prove it, y'all continue to believe it. And then like, when we prove it to y'all, and then when we make a song, it's like, oh, it wasn't that serious. Yeah. Yes, it was serious.
Right.
It's really, it really was serious to us.
It seems the enduring animosity between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has extended to involve their spouses, with fans speculating that Kenneth may ultimately be detrimental to Nicki's reputation. On September 12th, both Cardi and Nicki took the stage at the MTV VMAs, generating considerable buzz about a potential face-to-face meeting between the two. Most of you likely recall that their last public encounter resulted in a chaotic scene, with Cardi leaving with a noticeable lump on her forehead. However, this time, both Cardi and Nicki refrained from physical confrontations. Kenneth Petty, Nicki's husband, attempted to instigate a conflict with Offset. It seems the situation ignited when a member of Kenneth's crew posted a screenshot indicating that Offset had messaged him, asking about their whereabouts and criticizing him for weighing in on the feud between Cardi and Nicki. Offset's reaction was apparently triggered by the fact that this individual, along with the rest of Kenneth's crew, had been tagging Cardi in social media posts and issuing threats. So while it initially seemed that Offset was the one stirring the pot, it turns out that it was actually Kenneth and his team who were the original instigators. The individual from Kenneth's crew didn't immediately reply to Offset, but instead he, Kenneth, and the rest of the group arrived at a location they believed was Offset's hotel, intending to confront him. They documented their plans on Instagram Live, showing Kenneth making threats toward Offset.
We outside! Somebody tell Offset, cause Offset DM me. He DM me. DM Cuckoo.
He off the set.
That whole gang can suck a
He off the set. Don't let's put you off the set.
fuck you talking about. I had you scared, boy.
Niggas off the
No, I
set.
had you scared, boy. A lot of y'all niggas, man. I'm top, y'all wasn't like
Checking in
At all.
keep believing in these.
Legendary.
Keep believing in these.
There it is.
Man.
Wow.
Wow, man.
It's been right here for man long though.
Now, the amusing part about all this, apart from Kenneth being a 45-year-old man still acting tough on social media, is that they were actually waiting at the wrong hotel. As for Offset, he later shared a video of himself getting on a private jet, making light of Kenneth and his crew, and calling them bro.
Bro. We up in our jets. Y'all got there. Y'all niggas stand outside.
But then a few days later, Kenneth's friend, the same one who had previously claimed Offset DM'd him, went live on social media once more. He also displayed additional screenshots of his direct messages with Offset, revealing that he did eventually respond and dared Offset to make a move, all while implying that Offset was cowardly for not maintaining the same confrontational stance toward men. And when Offset replied once more, labeling this man as goofy and financially unstable, Kenneth's friend retorted by advising him to use his wealth to seek justice for the death of his associate. While some fans on Twitter argued that Offset appeared weak for allowing Kenneth's friend to disrespect him in this manner and bring up personal matters, many others asserted that Offset actually did the right thing by ignoring the provocation. One fan pointed out that while Kenneth's crew was loitering next to garbage bags on a grimy street, Offset was stepping off a private jet, suggesting they might need to reevaluate their priorities. Many other fans also brought up Kenneth's prior SA conviction and the fact that he's listed as an offender. One fan suggested that all Offset would have to do is stand in a school zone. As for Nicki, she seemed to worsen the whole situation when, after Kenneth's friend leaked Offset's messages, she tweeted, "I want to play a game." And that's all it took for Nicki's fans to attack Cardi and Offset. One Nicki supporter tweeted an accusation that Cardi's father, Carlos, is a convicted SA, sharing a screenshot from an unidentified source claiming that Carlos was found guilty in 1988 for SAing a 14-year-old girl. And that's when Cardi decided to break her silence, slamming Nicki's fans for spreading lies about her dad and warning them to knock it off before she starts calling out real SA offenders. Cardi tweeted, "First they were lying on Offset in the video, now it's lies about my dad. Better keep it cute on family, especially if you're an offender, because everyone's gonna want to cry when I start talking about the real predators." And as for Nicki, fans are now dragging her, because this isn't the first time she's riled up her fans and then played the victim when things got out of hand. In fact, Kenneth's alleged victim previously revealed that Nicki sent her people to intimidate her into staying quiet about Kenneth in public. In the 90s, Kenneth faced 4 years in prison after being accused of SAing a 16-year-old girl. He was then later ordered to register as an offender in the state of New York following his release in 1999. Years later, when he moved to California in 2019, he got into some legal trouble after failing to re-register in the state. After his wedding, he was stopped during a traffic light in LA and was later sentenced to 1 year of home confinement in order to re-register as a level 2 offender. But what's even crazier is that Nicki has allegedly attempted to silence Kenneth's victims multiple times, even going to the extent of sending goons to silence them. A woman who is claimed to be one of Kenneth's victims shared a video on social media accusing Nicki and Kenneth of harassing not only her but her family. In the video, she's seen begging them to leave her alone.
This message is for Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Tell your people to leave my family alone, okay? Don't call my family, don't call my brothers, don't call anybody. Leave me and my family the alone.
In March of 2020, the woman explained that she received a phone call from a mutual friend who knew Kenneth and her brother. The mutual friend told her that she could help get a hold of Nicki and Kenneth to make all the drama disappear. She assumed that what this meant was Nicki wanting to make an agreement where both parties would stop talking about each other in public. But instead, she was allegedly bribed by one of Kenneth's friends with a check for $20,000 in exchange for her writing a letter stating that everything she was claiming happened was a lie.
This mutual person offered me $20,000 to write a letter stating that I lied about what I did. I lied about Kenny assaulting me.
The woman refused, which led to Nicki Minaj personally calling her, telling her that her publicist would reach out to her to speak on the situation. While the publicist never visited her, she instead began to receive calls from Nicki's goons. These people even went as far as to contact her family members offering them money.
I got a phone call from Nicki Minaj herself saying that she got word that I was willing to help them out in this situation. So she said that she could send her publicist Joe out to where I was living at the time. I have since moved multiple times since then, but that she can send Joe out, her publicist Joe, out to meet with me and talk with me about the situation. After that phone call with Nicki, the only contact I had was from street goons. I think she has somebody in her camp called Ganks. He was contacting family members. There was a lot of numbers as far as money.
The woman claimed also that she had to move 4 times after her children also began to get approached by men wanting to talk to them about Kenneth. Fans haven't held back against Nicki Minaj's husband's allegations, with many stating that they believe the victims and are disgusted with Nicki for putting up with all of this. Unfortunately for Kenneth and Nicki, things haven't gone better for them, as Kenneth was recently sentenced to 4 months of house arrest for violating his probation by posting clips on social media threatening Offset. The order was issued by the Central District of California, demanding that Kenneth be placed under house arrest after he was recorded on video making threatening remarks to a specific individual while in the company of someone with a criminal record. This recent violation conduct raises concerns of Mr. Petty's willingness to comply with the court's orders. Continued the statement, such as, the probation officer believes placement in the location monitor program will effectively allow for closer monitoring of Mr. Petty's activities, limit his movement, and provide sanctions for his non-compliance. The court hopes Petty's his time in the program will encourage him to reflect upon and reevaluate his current status in the community. Nicki Minaj and her husband are fighting a downhill battle with not only Cardi B and Offset, but her fans and public image as well. What do you guys think? Do you guys blame Nicki Minaj for putting herself in this position? What are your thoughts on Kenneth and his allegations? Do you think Offset will continue to ignore the pair, or will things only further escalate? Leave your comments down below, and as always, thanks for watching.